What's up, you guys? Sorry, my son is getting on a dirt bike with his friends. So, yeah, I'm trying to make sure they got their helmets on, their full body gear on, and they're not, you know how teenagers can be. What's up? It's Friday. We finally made it. You guys, I'm finally getting to the point where I don't feel like I am fighting this cold anymore. Even though it's getting cold outside, I am working out inside, so I cannot be breathing that cold air in because that is just not fun. But yeah. So, thanks for coming. I couldn't get Instagram to pull up separately, so I'm so sorry if you guys are on Instagram. I can't see you. I don't think, unless you're typing in the chat, and then I will definitely see if I can get it figured out. But for right now, I don't understand what's going on. Hi. But anyway, I hope you guys have had a good week so far, and that you guys are, I don't know about you guys, but we have a 4-day weekend here with the kids. So we're going to be doing our Halloween decorating. So that's going to be exciting. I'm so excited about that. But I also am excited because you guys had homework. So I am waiting to hear back to see who you're ready to get your walk on. Hey, hi, babe. So I'm waiting to see who actually did their homework yesterday and learned about let me get that off there. Learned about that fasting. Who did their homework and who didn't. That's what I'm trying to see right now. Who learned what the fast, what the 24-hour, what was the 24-hour, the 48-hour, and the 72-hour fast, what those fasts are doing. This week we're just doing the walking for wellness because I've been so sick and I'm just trying to get back in the groove of things. I'm stretching out a little bit so I can feel 100% better before we jump into our HIIT workouts that we're normally doing. Those HIIT workouts, is my bread and butter. That's my sweet spot. So right now we're just doing the walking, stretching, walking, stretching, walking. And then next week, hopefully we'll get started back in the swing of things with the HIIT and the Tabata. But right now, this is such a good place to start, you guys. Just a nice, brisk walk. Right now, I'm just stretching. I'm kind of doing like walking lunges at a 1.5. But this is a perfect way to start if you haven't worked out in a while or you just don't feel like doing a bunch of stuff or you're in recovery for anything. It's just a nice walk. Now, what I'm doing right now is a stretch, but a nice walk each day. This is the walking pad that I'm doing it on because it's getting cold here. So I'm trying to not be outside and continue my sickness because I'm finally feeling better, which is a great place to be in. But I do attest it to not just getting on here and working out and starting moving again, even though you got to take it slow when you go from a big cold, but also attesting it to doing the fasting and the vitamins. The resting is huge when you're trying to recover and get back in the swing of things. So thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for being here. It's Friday. I've had a whole week of walking for wellness. For you guys that don't know about what's going on in the stream, this right here, this QR code is to help the second run of raising money for the people in Asheville who have lost everything, literally everything in the blink of an eye, even some loved ones, children, like grandparents. It's so sad, so sad. So they have got so much food and water and support like that coming in, but this is for support for people that need like bedding or diapers, formula, bed, like blow up mattresses, pillows, that kind of thing. So that's what that one's for. This one down here is supporting the stream. That's just for me supporting my family and all the children in the neighborhood that are constantly here that I'm caring for literally every day of the week. Not just my children, of course I'm caring for them, but I'm talking about neighborhood kids. I'm talking about the neighborhood kids. But that's okay. I love it. I love playing that role. I love being mother hen and being able to be there and support and be there for them in a way that they need it. So I'm like that neighborhood auntie, I guess you could call it. So I'm moving it up, you guys, to 2.5. I did about 3 minutes on the 1.5, just stretching it out, kind of getting my muscles warmed up. I already stretched a little bit before I came on here. So now I'm ready to start moving and grooving. And I don't know if you guys have ever, first of all, did that homework, but there's this thing called, I just downloaded because it was suggested to me because of my algorithm stuff. You know how there always be on there. Welcome. Hi, welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming. Happy Friday. Of course, happy if you're not one of the ones that are going through all this stuff that's been going on with hurricanes. But welcome anyway, regardless. Thank you so much. Prayers out to all those people in Florida and North Carolina and Georgia that got hit by those tornadoes and all of that stuff. Sending major prayers to you guys. And thank you so much for taking your time to be here. Hopefully you learn a little bit while you're here. I'm trying to find this app that was sent to me, and I downloaded it, but I don't know if you guys know what it is. But it seems really cool. Wow, I just realized I have like a lot of apps. It's called Blinklist. You guys ever heard of that? Blinklist. So it suggested some books, and it's called The Power of Not Thinking, which is really, really difficult to do for someone who has constantly got their mind running in a million directions. So it says how your body learns and why we should trust your body. So it was talking about like how your body has a subconscious memory of its own that you're not even thinking about, but it stores its own like memory of the things that it likes. And it's almost like how people are like, just trust your gut instinct. And it's like, why say that? And this book was suggested in this app called, what was the app called again? Blinklist. I don't know. Never heard of it, but I did download it. And it has got some interesting stuff in here that I thought I would probably share with you guys if I could get it to actually, pull up properly. So it's by Simon Roberts. Y'all, I need glasses. Whoa. I need glasses. Whoa. Okay, The Power of Not Thinking, How Our Bodies Learn and Why We Should Trust Them. Have you ever struggled to learn a new skill despite reading about it and mentally understanding the steps? Do you ever find yourself trapped in analysis paralysis, as if there is a deeper understanding that's eluding you? The answers, sorry, the print is so small. The answer may lie not in your head, but in your body. In this blink, we'll explore the power of embodied knowledge, the wisdom and intelligence that resides in our physical being. You'll discover how engaging your senses, honing your skills, and tuning into your bodily intuition is crucial to understanding and performance. So I guess that's what Blinklist is, right? It's just like an app that gives you like a synopsis of a book or some kind of scenario like that. So I think that's interesting, right? Like I've definitely felt like I'm trying to learn something. Like for instance, my sister can play like every instrument she touches, but when it comes to me for playing, so not except for piano. I feel like I pick piano pretty quickly, but any string guitar, I can't like get my mind to figure it out. So but my son is getting into it, and he's never taken lessons or anything. He goes on YouTube and he just naturally flows with it. He has a good ear for it. He figures it out well. So I can imagine that this has something to do with that. Like the answers may lie may not lie in your head, but in your body. Like your body just it's got a way of communicating and knowing what maybe your mind can't understand. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty powerful, right? You'll discover so in this blink list, which is like a synopsis of whatever this book is, it says you'll discover how engaging your senses, honing your skills, and tuning into your bodily intuition is crucial to understanding and performance. Whether it's an athlete striving for peak performance or a business leader navigating complex markets, we'll see how important it is to immerse ourselves. Hold on, changing pages. We'll see how important it is to immerse ourselves, listen to performance of leaders, navigate complex markets, immerse ourselves, look for unspoken cues, and adapt on the fly with grace and skill. So get ready to step out of your head and into your body, because your body is wiser than you know. Interesting. So it's not just about your body's, like I'm always on here about, fitness and your health and all of the things that involve health and fitness, but this little blink list synopsis of this, covering this book, is about your body's wisdom outside of just its performance physically, but its performance in all areas of your life, which is really cool. So what is bodily wisdom? Bodily wisdom, picture a nondescript office building in Silicon Valley. Inside, a team of brilliant robotics and machine learning engineers is grappling with a single challenge: teaching a machine to drive a car. This seemingly simple task, 1 millions of people perform daily, has proven to be a formidable obstacle in the quest for autonomous vehicles. The apparent ease with which we humans, whereas when I switch pages, it takes me to the very top. Sorry, y'all. We humans navigate roads, interpret traffic signals, and anticipate other drivers' actions, beliefs beneath the surface. That's kind of like when you're on the road, right? And I feel like that, I get that. Like you're kind of trying to navigate. Like for me, I'm constantly looking inside someone's car, like seeing, like, are they on their phone? Are they paying attention? Like when I'm driving, I'm looking over and always looking at the person, trying to navigate. Are they paying close enough attention when you're in close enough traffic? Are they paying close enough attention so I can kind of navigate the circumference around me and be a little more alert? So, what'd you say? You're not on Facebook today, by the way? Oh, no? Oh, weird. I had it. It's on there. Well, I guess you win some, you lose some. But thank you for letting me know, Bill. Thanks for coming. Regardless, you came over to YouTube. Thank you. I'm probably not on the other ones then either, because all I'm seeing is YouTube. So, but that's okay. I mean, I'll try and repost it later on this. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. What about Instagram? Do you have Instagram? Are you on there? Maybe that's on there. I was looking at this thing called Blink List. Have you ever heard of that, though? It looks like, I don't know. You know how like your phone, Google or Safari or whatever, they get the things that you're constantly searching up. So it was on my suggestion list, which I'm sure part of the algorithm of paying attention to what I am constantly looking in. But it suggested this app called Blink List. So I'm trying to navigate and see what that is. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you looking. Hi, guys. Welcome to you guys that just joined. Thanks for coming in. It's Friday. It's our final day of the Walking for Wellness series this week, trying to raise money for the people in Asheville for the devastation they're going through. Just here for support and just chatting it up. I have this one is for the Asheville, you guys, and this one down there is for yours truly, supporting me in the stream and just giving me a little love so I can also give the love to all those children around me that I'm constantly caring for. So Yeah. So we were talking about Blink List, and this thing that was sent to me was like really, it's very interesting, talking about almost like your body's cognitive memory rather than your mind, and how your body instinctually knows more about, kind of like when they say like trust your gut, how your body knows more than we give it credit for. We always think our mind is running the show, but really, when I guess I never really thought much deeper into how when people say trust your gut, like what that's referring to your body and your body's instinct of what's right and what's not. And I know in life we don't always make the best decisions. I know I've made some pretty poor decisions in my past, and I have put myself through the ringer on things to, become a better person and not make those poor decisions again. So, and I know, Bo, you have talked about being on your path too for wellness. So it's all a conscious, mental, daily choice. You have to want to. You can't have someone else want you to be better. You have to want to be better yourself. That's just how it is for anybody that has an addiction to anything, or you were a certain type of person and you just, you don't want to be that person. Maybe you were someone that hurt other people. Maybe you were someone that did drugs. Maybe you're someone that was an alcoholic, or whatever your vice. You have to make the choice for yourself that that's not who you want to be, and make a conscious effort to want to change that. Thank you, Bo. Thank you for checking. I appreciate it. To want to change that to better yourself. And I feel like not everybody, if somebody isn't ready for that stage, then they're not, the change isn't going to happen, right? You have to want to do that for yourself, for the change to stay, for the change to even happen in the first place, but then for it to stay. Like you, Bo, you said you're coming up, was it 17 years? I think you said. You make that conscious decision every single day though, right? You wake up and that's your choice. And I think that no matter what you've done or where you've been in your life and in your past, that doesn't define who you are in your current, in who you are in today. Like, as long as you're deciding that's not who you want to be, and you're making that choice every single day to be something different, then that will stick and that will stay, because it's your choice and it's your thought, not you doing it for someone else, because that's never going to stick. It's never going to stay because you're doing it for another person. That's not for you. That's not from your inside out. That's from your outside in. And that's what my whole journey in life is, creating yourself to be the best from the inside out, truly, all the way through, not just your physical, but your mental, your spirit, your whole embodiment of what it means to cleanse yourself and be, sorry, I just strained my neck for some reason, to cleanse yourself from the inside and being a better version of you every day, showing up for yourself every day, even if it's something simple like this, just walking, and you're trying to start getting your body back. You're trying to start getting your mental focused. You're trying to just start becoming a better you from the inside out, whether it's detoxification, you're on a new path, you stop doing drugs, drinking alcohol, being a criminal, hurting the ones you love, being violent, or whatever the case. You have to show up for yourself every day. It's not like 2 days a week, 3 days, every day. You got to show up for yourself every day to make that change, but it has to happen from inside first. You have to get your mind that that's who you want to be. That's the gospel for the day. That's who you want to be. And the beauty about, that's what I tell my kids when they mess up. The beauty about life is you get to choose. Like, nobody's forcing you to do the things that you're doing. You get to choose who you want to be in this world. You get to choose, do I want to be that kind of person? Is that who I want to be known for or be as? You got to choose that that's not your path, and you got to make that decision and make that change, because no one's going to make that for you. So it's a great lesson all around, not just for adults, but also for the children. And I said, that's the beauty. Like, we don't have to live in this sad space right here of something bad that you did. you just have to fix it. You just have to fix it. And tomorrow's a new day. Actually, this next minute is a new day, is a new moment for you to start working towards a better mindset and a better way. So my kids have really adapted to that concept a lot better, because they don't feel like the worst thing you want someone to do is just feel like they're unchangeable and a loser and they're not capable of being something greater than they are, because everybody makes mistakes, right? We're all Hey, Sad, I was wondering if you were coming. Thank you, I appreciate it. I feel like people make less progress quicker if they feel like such a loser and such like so incapable of being something greater, when you should know that you are capable and you can be something greater. You have to know that from within. You learn your lesson, you know, from inside. And sometimes people just need that support system to feel like, you know what, I made a mistake, but I am a good person. I want to be a better person and be able to move forward from there. And sometimes you just need support and someone who also thinks that way about you, who feels that you are capable and you are a good person and you can move forward. So I try not to harp on my kids too bad or myself too bad, or definitely no friends. I don't judge my friends for the things that they do, because I'm imperfect too. I'm definitely no saint, but I try every day to be a better person and to do better than my past. I really do try my hardest to never be a repeat offender. That's 1,000,000% sure. So I definitely feel like, what the heck happened? Oh no, where'd you guys go? I lost you. Uh-oh. Did I close the whole stream? Did I close the whole stream down? No. Well, guys, I think I might have lost you all. Whoopsies. Aw. Whoops. Oh, gosh. Oh, I was like, what in the world happened? What happened right there? Did it look like... What happened? Here, hold on. I think I know what happened. Oh, so it's connected to my computer, my phone. When my phone rings, it takes it to... I got to figure out how to get that off. Not sure. I can't do it right now. But it did give me a little second to... I'm going to start. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know that's just going to happen, because I'm like dying already. So I won't do the armpit flash very often. So, yeah, anyway, that's my preach. That was my preach on that. When it went, was it a black screen? I want to know what happens when my phone rings like that. Did it go to a black screen when it comes off like that? Or are you still able to see me? I always wonder what happens there when that does happen, when the phone rings and it takes it off there. But, yeah, so whenever I was talking to my son, he had done something, and his friend's mom was going bananas on him and just like saying, I don't know, just like a lot of things that I did not fully agree with. But I feel like if you're told, or you're made to feel that because of your mistakes you are that person and that's who you're going to be, and like there's no hope for you type of thing, don't you feel like that? Oh, it doesn't? It's still, you can still see me, Bo, whenever that went off? Interesting, because I can't see you guys. But whenever you're made feel, do you feel like if somebody was, you did something that you hurt someone or you hurt yourself, or, like when you were drinking, Bo, like maybe some things that had happened that you wish that didn't happen, and you were told all kinds of things about yourself, like, oh, you're such a loser, you're always gonna be a loser, blah, 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 on like one situation, or some situations. Did that make you feel like empowered to want to change, or does that empower you to want to change who you are? Or would it be more empowering if somebody said, oh, I know you're a better person than this, why are you doing this, you're hurting the people that you love? Would that kind of approach, would you find that kind of approach being a more empowering and supportive approach? I guess everybody's different, right? Like some people like a drill sergeant in their face and telling them, like, yelling at them. And then some people rather have a more gentle approach, like, you got this, you can do it. So I guess I've tried both on the kids, but I also feel like, you never know what's going to stick. You just kind of gotta, every kid is different. You gotta throw it all out there. Every person is different and how they learn and how they feel. So I feel like, you never know. You just got to give it a go is really my motto. I need to have a shirt that says that. You never know. You just got to give it a go. You had 17 years sober on the 17th of last month. Oh, that was of last month. I thought it was October. Yeah, but I had to be desperate for change to happen. Yeah. Well, right. I remember you saying, like, being in that space. So it wasn't like family came to you or friends were saying things to you. You had to make that decision on your own accord. It's the same. I feel like if you want to truly be a good person and you want to make a change, it has to come from you, right? Like, you can be told all the things you want to be told, but if it's not coming from your own heart and your own mind, then chances are you're not going to be different. You're not going to make that change. I'm watching my son go by on a dirt bike. Drill sergeant, the possible loss of a relationship and family are not as powerful as now. Yeah, right. Exactly. And that's how I feel about people that are addicted to drugs too. Like, it just has a certain hold on them that you become powerless to your vice, right? So it really is so horrible, but it takes a strong-willed, strong-minded person to move through it. And right, that's my point, is like, you have to make that decision for yourself. You're the one who has to show up for yourself every day. No one else is gonna make that for you. And it's a difficult decision, I'm sure, at first, to break a habit that you've had for so long. But in the case of like just changing from one particular situation, in the case of that, I feel like I don't think that people should always be so hard on themselves, because you learn, as long as you learn from it, right? You have to learn from the situation. You're glad you never did drugs, right? Because they usually say, like, drinking alcohol is a gateway, or smoking marijuana as a gateway to doing drugs. But I don't know that correlation. But good thing you never went down that path, especially the kids these days. I feel so terrible for them even trying it. I don't know if you've heard so many stories about kids even trying it. I don't know, I think I slept wrong on my neck. That's week. There we go. Oh, that felt good. But even trying it these days, like one time, because of the fentanyl, that would be that. Like you try it and that's that. Like, that's the sad part about that. It really does suck, because, I mean, kids would be kids, right? They want to explore and they're doing things. But the sad part about our world we live in is you can't just be that free person anymore, because that could mean fatal death. And that's just not, I feel like parenting is so much harder these days than I feel like my parents had to go through. I mean, maybe not, but I mean, at least we were able to go out and do things and not feel like we were going to get captured and taken to like the human trafficking and, like all the extra things, fentanyl, if they're out even like trying weed or smoking a cigarette, somebody could have laced it with fentanyl, like, and then you're dead. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many added elements. Does anybody else feel like that? Like there's so many added elements to our world today that our parents just didn't have to deal with. And it's scary, man. It really is. Like, I'm always, and you know, like I've mentioned a million times before. Oh, there's my necklace. Worked out during the 49ers game last night. Oh no! Doing the ab roller, walking differently today. Niners won though. Is that your team? The Niners? Let's go! Oh no, what'd you do to your back? What do you mean ab roller? What ab roller? Just feeling my cross. Lord, be with all these children today. Keep them safe and out of harm's way. Like I told you, I always, let me know what ab roller. I'm circling back, but I'm just gonna say, I finished my thought. I like the kids when they come over, I told you I always have the kids over at my house. You limit. Did I read that right? 10 per day? Is that a lot? I feel like that's a lot. Is that a lot? What did you used to smoke? How many did you used to smoke? I mean, if you got a vice, I mean, I guess it's better than 2 packs a day, right? I don't know. I've never had that issue, but yeah. So can't send a pic of it. It's on the ground. It's on the ground. What's on? Oh, it's on the ground. Oh, is it one that goes? Is it the wheel that rolls out and back in? You tweaked your back because you probably didn't stretch very good your spine, because when you do those, you engage those muscles so much. If it's even a little bit tight, half a pack, smoke 2 packs a day in the Army. Yeah. Have you ever like taken a break on that? Taken a break on smoking, like all together, like cold turkey, everything out? I know it's so hard for people to do. My clients that I've got COPD or like some kind of thing going on with their lungs and they're still smoking. You know, you have to want to do it. Like I said, you have to want to do it from the inside on your own. You can't have friends, family, anybody else telling you how to be a better person or a better way. You got to do it. It has to be your own decision. And for me, like, I don't know. I'm not God. I don't judge. That's why my friends come to me and can confide in me. And they know that what they tell me and what's going to be will be my true friends. Like my ride or dies. They know what they say and what they go through. They can tell me open-heartedly and fully, and that I will never judge them, because I'm also imperfect, and we're all imperfect in God's eyes, and He's the only one that you gotta come to with all of you, who you are in the end. So, you know, it's not my place to judge. So I feel like it's been an open door for a lot of people in my life to feel comfortable to be who they are in front of me, and know that I'm never going to judge them for that, and I'm never going to share those deep things that they confide in with me. So you love having cigarette coffee. You know what I learned about cigarettes? And I'm not like supporting going to smoke cigarettes, but I learned that people that have bad anxiety and like attention, what is it? ADD, smoking cigarettes, the nicotine, I guess, helps with anxiety and bringing your mind to like a more calm state, mental focus. That's why you see people that are like stressed or like whatever, they're like, I need a cigarette. I didn't know, thought it was just an oral fixation thing, but I did learn about nicotine being something that helped with anxiety and stress. And I was like, really? Maybe that makes sense now. When people are like, you know, it's kind of like the thing I was telling you in Blink List that was sent to me, talking about your body's cognitive way of storing information and the things that you need. And your body knows sometimes what your brain doesn't, right? Like, I bet you there's some people that smoke cigarettes that don't even know that the reason that they're craving it like that is because it actually does help calm you down, calm your nature, and it also does help with getting your focus right. So I'm not saying go out and like start taking up smoking cigarettes. I'm just saying that is a fact that I learned. It does also do damage to your lungs and a whole bunch of things. So you know what I'm saying. Cigs are different from alcohol. True. They never made me do crazy things. Also true. It's a win, right? It's a win for you. You have to choose something. That's definitely, I feel like, a lot less of a vice. I keep moving my arm and like in my neck. It's almost like it's at the verge of a crick in your neck, but it's not there. But if I keep following my head around the way I am, I'm gonna be walking like a robot on here. Yep, calm. Yeah. So that's probably why, like, starting your day or whatever the case, because you know it gets your mind in a mellow space. Yeah. I keep watching my kids go back and forth. If you see me making big eyes, they're on dirt bikes right now, and I just saw one of them doing a wheelie. So, you know, those moments I was talking about earlier in the stream just now, yeah, this is going to be one of those moments. The chat about how that's not a good thing, what can happen. Don't be trying that on the road. He doesn't even have his rash guard on. That's okay. Switching the subject. But what I was telling you guys about, like, raising kids in this day and age, like my son who's 13 is about to turn 14 now. He's like, will you play? He said, how come every time we're leaving the house you have to be like, watch out for stranger danger, watch out for cars, be aware of your surroundings? Like, I know I heard that as a kid, but I really drill it into my kids today, because the number one, above the drug trade, that, which has always been the number one thing for criminals to do, is human trafficking. So, of course, me, with all my kids, who are all very good-looking kids, I do not want anything to happen. And then they got their friends with them, and I feel like I have to protect all these little youngsters, like little mother hen over here. I'm like, because I have to remind you, and maybe your friends have never even heard it before from their parents. But it's my duty to make sure you guys know, because if you see, like, I don't know if you guys have Neighbors. Do you know what that app is? Or Neighborhood? It's called Neighborhood or Neighbors. I can't remember right now. But it's, you put your circumference, right, of your area where you live, and it will connect you with all your neighbors. So if there's an alert of, like, suspicious behavior, or people get, like, they got the blink or the door cam, they have some people trying to break in their house, or what, they'll put the video up of what they look like, or at least what the frame looks like. Or a car that was just the other day, it was a blue truck. It was a navy blue truck with Florida tags. I'm in North Carolina, with Florida tags, and a mom was coming out off the bus, because you know all these kids get off the bus, and a lot of times they don't have a parent out there waiting for them. So the mom was off the bus, but she was kind of behind, like, some bushes, like waiting, like her hedges, I guess you'd say. Not like she was like peeping behind bushes, but she was behind her hedges. And she saw this, she noticed this dark blue truck. It wasn't parked, it was slow creeping. So she walks past her hedges. She was on her phone. She walks past her hedges, and she sees a little kid, maybe like a first grader, walking on the path and not paying attention. And this truck was coming up. And then I don't know if the truck didn't notice at first, but then noticed her watching, and she took a picture of the license plate, and she posted it up on Neighbors or Neighborhood. I got to see what that app is. But see, like, what was that? What was the intention? Because as soon as he noticed, or the person in that truck noticed that she was standing there watching him, he sped, like, wheels smoking up, sped out. That was what made her feel super suspicious, obviously, because he was probably about to jump out and grab that kid. That's how quick it happens. So I don't care if I, like, annoy every kid to the end of the earth with reminding them when they leave this house and they're going to the park down the street, do not for a second stop paying attention to your surroundings. And I never let any of my children leave anywhere without having a buddy or two, which is easy in this house because there's usually like 7 kids in this house at all times. But I think it's called Next Door. Next Door, that's what it's called. You guys got to get that app. It keeps you up to date with everything that's going on. If someone's cars, like there was a time when school got out like a couple years ago, and it was a summertime, and there was just high schoolers just being high schoolers, and they were going around smashing mailboxes, and then they were going around breaking into people's cars. And so it's so nipped in the bud so quickly now that they have this app called Next Door, because you can communicate, and the cops are there, and like we have so many police officers that live around this neighborhood, so it's really nice to have. But the app is called Next Door. That's what it is. How many? Mark every time. Oh no, it went behind the thing, Bo. You keep track of how many what? I'm sorry, I can't see it. I can't stand all the crimes and criminals we have these days. This stinks. I know, right? It really is. It's so sad and so disheartening. Like when I talk about it, and my husband's talking about when we grew up in the 80s and 90s, like we didn't have that. We're always talking about how amazing. He's like, I really wish I was born in that era when things didn't seem, and I didn't even think of it like we were born in like the 30s or some kind of thing where literally, they didn't have to deal with a whole lot of anything. But, I never thought about our era being the safe. I would have never thought our era was like the safe era. Like, I never would have imagined in a million years I would be raising children in a time like this. Like human trafficking would be like the thing, even though I know it's so big in other countries, which I'm just learning that that's even a thing at all. So it really is so scary. I have a Ring camera. We have the same community thing chat. Oh, through your Ring? Really? I have Blink. It's called Blink. I think it's the Amazon version of something like that. But it's got, I think you can communicate with whoever's on your Blink network, but you can't, there's no like community like that. This Next Door, you can go from your whole, you put the circumference of what you want to know about. Like I include obviously our neighborhood, but I also go all the way up to their schools. So I get their schools and their whole school surrounding, so I can learn what kind of activity and things are going on. 6 I have per day, I keep track. 6 you have per day, you keep track of like making sure it's 10. Is that what you're saying? Like making sure you don't go over that number, because I could see that it could get easy to just keep going on. But the Next Door thing is really cool, especially like if you go on that app Next Door, right, and you're going into a new area, you can also do the same kind of thing, and then it'll pull up, like do your circumference on there, and then it'll pull up all the things that go on or have gone on in that area in the past, whatever, however long you want to keep scrolling on it. But especially like in the moment, so you can kind of see what's the area. Like when my children are going over to their friend's house and they don't live in this area, boy, you better know I'm on there. Mama Bear is not going to let anything happen to my children. And I swear, Lord, and I'm not swearing on you. I'm just telling you, hand to God. Mama knows how to shoot. You're coming up in this house trying to hurt me or my children. Woo, you came in the wrong house. Just letting y'all know right now. Putting that out there to the world. You are not. Don't even think for a second. Don't let the kindness fool you that I'm weak, because I'm definitely going to protect my children to no end. So you jot down each one. That's good. It's good to keep a mental note of that. It's good to keep a mental note of, keep it staying in that capacity. You set parameters for yourself. This is what you're allotting yourself to do, and you're comfortable and you're okay with that, and allowing that to be it. I really like that. That's actually really good. I like to hold accountable. That's what I say. Accountability, for sure. That's why I think journaling is so good. I know that word sounds so like, blah for some people. Like, I am not going to journal. That's what I told to my son when he was getting in trouble with some friends that he started hanging out with that were bad news. And I was like, you have to stand up for who you are and your character. You were not raised that way. You're first a Christian. You were raised through him. You have a walk with Jesus, and you need to stay on that path. Don't let people bring you down to another level. Don't let people bring you down that path. You're strong in your character, and don't forget it. So I told him, maybe if you start journaling, which I use the wrong word because that's like triggering for boys. Like, I'm not going to journal. That's what girls do. But I was like, whatever, get a notepad, write down things that you learn that you can go back to and look at and remember that that's who you were and not who you choose to be today. So that's who you were, but it's not who you choose to be today. It's accountability, and it's just reminding yourself you don't want to be in that space. Write down how you were feeling when you did those bad things. Write down how you were feeling when you were disappointing your loved ones. Write down how you were feeling in that moment, because it's so easy to forget through time that moment and that feeling. But if you write it down in the moment and the time that you're going through it, it's a lot more passionate in the words that you say and the way you express it than it would be if you wrote it down years later. So I'm like, write it down, and then you can go back and you can remind yourself and see where you came from, right? What you went through, where you came from, and who you don't want to be. It's just like a reminder of your strength and your wisdom from within, that you don't have to walk that path. You can confide, you come to God and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me for my sins. Let me be a better person. Help me walk through you. And then change your path and change your direction. It's a really simple concept, but holding yourself, like writing it down, like you said, is a really great tool that I don't think a lot of people embrace enough. I get chats on Ring about package stolen, strangers walking on private properties, lost pets, etc. Yeah, okay. That's exactly what next door is. Same type of thing. That's cool. I didn't know Ring did that. But I just did the ones we have Blink because it was just so easy to set up. I mean, Ring might be the same thing too. That's probably why so many people have it. But I might switch over. I didn't know that the Ring community could communicate with each other like that. That's actually very cool. I'm hoping that all of them start to do that, right? Because the whole point of you having a system like that is for protection. So not just protection for yourself, but protection for other people. Like, hey, there's a suspicious situation. I feel like we've turned into like Fort Knox over here. It was like started with the front camera. And then I'm like, well, we should do the back camera before we got our fence. Excuse me. Now we got our fence. I'm like, okay, well, we should probably have one over by the gate. And then we got the side door to the house. I'm like, okay, well, maybe we need a side door one. I'm like, we got like full freaking surveillance everywhere. So I feel like we're on lock. And then when kids are watching, it shows videos of possible criminal people, right? That's so, I'll have to look into that. Thank you for sharing all that knowledge with me. I'll look into it now. But yeah, that's what when the kids are at school, you know, they're always talking about things that their parents have either told them or their parents have the news on in the house. And, you know, these things, when you're like 6, 7 years old, even the 10-year-old in my house, the 14-year-old, whatever stage, my son, who's now 21, like, I know I got a full spectrum, you guys. But when you're younger minded and you see the news, right, and they're like exaggerating it all up about, oh no, these scary things, it instills something in these little ones, and they're not mature enough yet to process and comprehend how to deal with all those emotions. So, you know, whenever they're like, oh, are we safe? Are we safe? I have to always reiterate. And it does bring some sense of security and safety and comfort for these little ones in the house. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, because we have a security system, so it'll go off. And I'm like, yeah. And we also have cameras everywhere that alert us. And we also have a mommy and a daddy that know how to, you know, double pump shotgun. Like, you guys are totally safe and secure. But these, you know, when you're sharing such big news with such a young mind, it's hard for them to even process and comprehend. So I try not to have the news on around them. I don't want to instill that kind of fear, but I do talk to them about it because I don't want them in the dark on it and, not being aware, because that is the dangerous part. If your children aren't aware and you don't take the time to explain a strategy, or if you see someone coming up to you and talking to you, they're trying to get closer, run away. They're trying to tell you, oh, I know your mom. No, they don't. Like you have to instill the knowledge in them without making them too frightened to even want to leave the house. Kids walking around with earbuds. Yes, 100%, Bo. Looking at their phones. Yes, 1,000,000%. That's exactly what I told my son, because he's like, I got my phone and I got I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. You got your phone, you got your earbuds, and you can't hear. You have to keep your earbud out. Or if you got your headphones on, keep an ear out. And always, I don't care if you're like responding to someone, respond a few words and look up, like look around. It happens so fast. And there are so many people that have caught those scenarios on their cameras where literally someone's in the driver's seat, 2 or 3 will jump out, grab them, or pull the door open on the side of the van, get close enough to them. Someone jumps out, throws them to the other person that's already in the van, and pulls them in. Like it's so fast. And people from other countries are posting it up. So you really get, an idea of what's going down and how it happens. So it's really something I never would have thought in a million years. But that's such a good point. Like, it does. It will make you deaf and blind if you've got your headphones on and you're looking down at your phone and you're not paying attention. Trust me, it's not going to be my kids if they're paying attention and heeding the warning, which I'm pretty sure they are because I've drilled it into their head so many times, like a broken record. So I'm never looking at my phone. Oh, you can't these days. And that's what I'm saying. Like this era, this time that we're in is so, so sad because you can't just, not about the phone, not looking at the phone. I don't even like to be on my phone when I'm in the presence of other people, regardless. I think it's so rude. I just feel like, if you're here to hang out, we should hang out and not be on our phones. Like, that's just my take on it. But I've had a past friend, which we're not friends anymore because I chose that person was not truly, it was never an engagement. It was always a one-sided thing. It was a never two-way street. It was always when someone's just there to kind of take and never give back. But that person was always on their phone. Always, I'd be like, hello, it takes a lot for me to get time to make time to hang out with someone outside of working and being with my children, my family. So I really would like to get a chance to communicate without you looking at your phone the whole time. Like, hello, I'm here. So yeah, but the fact that you can't even think about it because you're going to go, that movie, Sounds of Freedom. Oh my gosh, you guys seen that movie? Thanks, Hal, for reminding. It is Scary Days, Bo. That movie, is it Sounds of Freedom or Sound of Freedom? I thought it was Sound of Freedom, but that movie is like, if you really want to know if that movie was made, give it to me again. Who made that and how was the movie made? It was like based on what's really going on, and I don't know. I'll let you say it because you know more about that than me. But you guys should watch that. Oh, sorry. My crick. It's only when I'm leaning like this and engaging that side muscle. I must have slept really weird. But that movie, Sounds of Freedom, is really eye-opening, and it's really just like makes you aware of exactly what's going on in our world right now with the human trafficking thing. It's not as hard to watch as I thought it would be because, who wants to see stuff like what actually is happening with the kids? What do grown people want with buying? Why are they buying little children? So it kind of gives you an inside take on the mindset, and also the human trafficking ring. Oh, Lord Jesus. Like, after watching that movie, Sounds of Freedom, it is a true story, yeah. Sounds of Freedom, it made me feel like the power of prayer, right? You have to, like how I feel like so many people that when I was watching the news, watching the Weather Channel and all the people covering the hurricane, the amount of prayer hands you saw, prayers for Florida, praying for Florida, prayer, like out of 188,000 people, so many people were throwing up prayer hands. And it's like the power of prayer and ringing out universally of what it's like the vibration of, right? Like singing song. I don't know if you've ever been in a, like for church, for people that go to church, but if you don't go to church, if you've ever been in a place, concert or whatever, when everybody's singing all together or they're doing a dance move all together, it's the unison, it's the vibration of your energy, right? It's the same thing for Catholics or Christians in general. The vibration of your prayer is kind of, how I could relate it to people that aren't Christian is being at a concert and everybody's singing the words all together, or doing a dance move at a nightclub, everybody's up and down together or whatever. It's the vibration of your energies all together. So when that hurricane was a stage 5 and it was like supposed to be this whole thing, and I saw all these prayer hands on every hurricane coverage station, so many people coming together to pray, and look what happened. It turned into category 3 when it hit, but it was more out of 1. And yes, there was devastation because of the tornadoes, but most of the people were praying about the hurricane, not specifically the tornadoes. And then you learn, how to adjust in the future. But same thing, when I saw Sounds of Freedom, that was the same thing. Just like doing the prayers, like power prayers, like, you guys, let's pray for these children and let's pray for this deceit and this horrible scenario going on in our world where these people are looking at children that way. That is not right. It's not right. It's my own personal opinion, of course, but it's not right for a grown man to look at a 5-year-old like that and want to do that. It's not right. So it's just like the power of prayers. We all have to come together and pray for that situation to be null and void and removed, because it's so scary. I watch a lot of PBS, Frontline, C-SPAN, History Channel, CNN, etc. A lot of documentaries about history and modern issues. Yeah, but have you ever watched anything on the human trafficking, like the Sounds of Freedom? You should jot that one down. It will open your eyes, I promise you. And it is based on these people who go out. These are the people who go out, and this is what they do to try and stop the traffickers. You know who's getting big into that? Who was, I don't know if they still are, Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore when they were married. They were big advocates, and they hushed it for some reason. I don't know, like all their posts and stuff were taken down or flagged, which is very strange, but they hushed all the things that they were talking about that were happening, got hushed. So I don't know if they're still doing it. They could still be doing it. We just don't know because we can't see it anymore because of all the censorship. But I was just like, they've even seen it on their end, and they took stands and were like a part of the stopping the human trafficking wave. My hair just came down. It's amazing I can hold all that hair up right in the back. Go somewhere. But I would watch that, but I'm well aware of it. It does. It's so sad. But it's not, for me, it wasn't like excited to watch it, but for me, as a parent and wanting to be, I feel like knowledge is power. Even if it scares me to learn it, I'm at least knowledgeable of how the operation works, right? And even for you, you don't have to be a parent to want to learn the information, because there might be a kid or something in the scenario, in your circumference, in your orbit. There might be a situation that maybe you wouldn't have looked at it the same, but with knowing the knowledge, your eyes are open and you can see it in a different light and be able to save lives. You just never, that's our duty. I feel like as human beings, is to always be aware and not just looking out for you and your own, but anyone around you, that you have the power to insert yourself and help. Like, I just feel like that's who we should be, right? We should be that person. But when we were in Vegas, we were going for, I think it was the New Year, and we were going to a UFC fight for the New Year, and the announcements in the airport, right? How they're always like, flight so and so is leaving out. They're always on the announcements of the changes and whatever's happening. I had never in my life. This was like a few years back, even. So I know it's got to be way worse now, but I had never flown in my life and heard, I guess because we're in a main area, like Vegas is such a big area, and maybe it happens more there. But on the speaker, they were saying, you guys, please be aware of your surroundings. Watch any children. Children, if you were being held hostage. This was over the loudspeaker in the Vegas airport, right? And I was like, oh, wait, no, where were we? No, this was LAX. Okay, so they were like, if you look around and you see any children that are blinking, if you're in a hostage situation, blink your eyes so you can get someone's attention and let them know. I was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to know? What if someone's a nervous blinker? And then you think they're in the hostage situation, and now you're like got the cops over at their family, and But I never heard so many announcements at an airport in my life about that, about in an airport. And like, how are they even going to get? I guess because you don't need identification for the kids. I don't know how we're going to fix that situation, but I was like, what is happening over here? Yeah, it was an LAX, and it was like so many announcements with people that are walking through. If you guys see any issues, or you see something that looks suspicious, or a kid that's under distress, and then they were talking to the children, if you're in a hostage situation, make sure, try to get away, and if you can't, make eye contact with someone and give them a signal that you're in a situation. I was like, oh my God. Immediately I started like looking around frantically, like, who's being trafficked in here in the major airport like that? It was so scary. As if to say, women, protect your kid. I kept walking, but she got my point. A few evenings ago, a child, oh no, it went behind the thing. Will you repost that one so I can see it? A few evenings ago, a child, that part, the first one, will you repost that both so I can see it? It's the same, women, protect your kid. I kept walking, but she got my point. Yeah, even if you're just dropping the seed, hopefully it sets into her garden and grows. Like, that's what you can do, is do your part in trying to, protect the ones. A few evenings ago, a child reposted that. Her mother was trying to teach her a lesson. She was about 100 yards away. I stopped walking near the kid and looked mother as if, oh, yeah, right? Yeah, right? You're like, I could be anyone. Like, hello, protect your kid. It's true. 62 minutes. Okay, this has been at 63 minutes. What? That can't be right. Only 3.5 miles. 400 calories at a 3 point something. What did I say? 3.2. Oh, that was how fast I'm walking, that was how fast I'm walking. My hair tie just fell out of my hair. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, I'm looking at how long I've been on here. What I'm walking at, yeah, 3.2. That's the speed. What's the distance? That's what I'm on about. So, sounds of freedom, y'all. Check that out and get with the know. Oh, okay. I can't believe I only went 3.5 miles. I'm walking way faster than I normally do. All right. Next week, we're going to do hit bow. That's what's happening. I missed the first part of that, but I'm pretty sure that's what you were reiterating right there. But, yeah, it's scary, dude. I know we went on a deep train over here on the topics, but, if you don't get it out and talk about it, then some people just don't know. I mean, I definitely feel like, I've been pretty naive in my past because I always like to see the bright side of things. And, I've definitely been fed a tale or two am bought into it. But thank God I've always been a child of Christ and baptized, and my father was a preacher in our church, and I've always been surrounded by the Christian protection of God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit and my angel, my guardian angel. I know we all have guardian angels. We just, not everybody pays attention or gives them the glory that they deserve. But yeah, I feel like being a free thinker of love and always seeing the silver lining and the positivity and everything does leave you a bit naive sometimes. But even being in that mind space, I have never, thank God, been in a situation where I've been taken advantage of in a way that would taint me or change me for who I am, where, some little girls have to worry about that now. Even being over at a friend's house, maybe they have an uncle or a friend over that you just never know this day and age. So I am so grateful that I've always been protected. And my girlfriends and I, high school and in college, didn't always make the best decisions on where we were who we were hanging out with. Was not all like, we didn't know who those people were at all times. Like, you're at a party and you just like have a lot of people around you. You don't always know who you're surrounded by. But we've never been in a situation that ever harmed us. And so grateful for that. So grateful. I see that crap on the news all the time. It's horrible. What crap. What do you see on the news all the time? Good thing is you're aware of it. So many others are not. Right. And that's exactly what I feel like. I feel like if I have been around people that were a bit sketch. So my intuition, I've always trusted in. So I feel like my intuition has always guided me away from the situation before it became a situation. So I am grateful for that, for sure. But a lot of people ignore their intuition, and then they become in these situations. Oh, kids, yeah, right? It's so sad. All the children that end up going missing. I'm telling you, that's why I'm like, my son was like, can you please? It's like annoying my friends. Like, I don't care. But it's annoying them that I tell you guys to watch out for your surroundings. I'm not here to be their friend or make the situation, I don't know, like enjoyable, because it's not enjoyable. I'm trying to instill a little knowledge and intelligence on you guys being able to protect yourselves and being aware of your surroundings. So you can't be friends with your children, ladies and gentlemen, in my humble opinion. You can't. I mean, you can in the future, but when they're young, they need guidance. They need a parent to parent them and guide them, and it's not always easy. It's easier to want to just be their friend and be the cool parent and hang out, but you gotta want to guide them first. Like, they need guidance. They need someone to tell them, this isn't right, or don't do that. This isn't gonna be good for you, or you're gonna get in trouble if you do this. Like, you gotta be bad cop sometimes. You can still be good cop, but you also gotta be, the one that puts your foot down. Some of us has to spread the word, right? And I think I'm just like, I've always been someone who's, I don't know, just kind of go along, and I'm a leader in my own right. Don't get that twisted. But I've always been someone that if someone has a strong ideal about something, I let them have that ideal, and I don't detest it or say anything back about it, because that's their opinion. That's the beauty of life, right? That's why the censorship thing is driving me nuts. Even you don't have to like the things that people say, but just don't follow them or just don't engage in it. Like, that doesn't mean that there should be a higher up that censors the person for saying something they don't like. Like, that's not freedom of speech, right? We should be able to have differences of opinions and still be able to get along. Like, that's your opinion, and that's fine. And I respect your opinion. You should respect my opinion. Doesn't mean like people that you don't like should be silenced or should burn in hell or whatever the situation. A lot of, especially in the politic world, they're like, all X type of supporters should all just be burnt or gassed or whatever. Like, who says that kind of stuff? What's wrong? What's the matter with you? Like, those are just somebody else's opinion. Who cares? That's their opinion. You got your own opinion, and that's that. We should be able to exist in the same space with different opinions on the same matter. So, I mean, I have friends who speak their mind about things that I don't agree with, but that's their opinion. I don't fight with them about it. If I'm asked my opinion on it, I will tell them how I feel about it, but I don't say how you feel is wrong and I'm right. That's not fair. How you feel is how you feel, and how I feel is how I feel, and that's okay. You can share your knowledge and why you feel that way and maybe have a nice conversation about that, but if you feel like it's going to a space that's not going to be good for anyone, it's not worth engaging in for me personally, because it's not worth ruining something I value bigger, which is my connection with someone, over an argument about politics. Like, that's just not who I am. But it doesn't mean that you have to like agree with everything anybody says. You could just agree to disagree, right? And then be fine with that. My neighbor woman at the grocery store the other day, you watch the news all the time. You watch the news all the time. What do you mean? My neighbor at the grocery store the other day, you watch the news all the time. Huh. I'm not quite sure. You might have to elaborate on that. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. But yeah, I just feel like I've seen so many friendships and family situations go awry from just things like, I don't know, I feel like love should lead with love. And not everybody's perfect. But if you don't lead with love and learn forgiveness is the key in your whole mental status. Not just forgiveness for the other person, but forgiveness when you give it to yourself, forgiving yourself for the things that you've done, forgiving. I, as a Christian, repent. First of all, I ask always, anytime I've done anything to hurt anybody or hurt myself, I would say, God, please forgive me for that. Make me be better. Make me be whole. Heal me. Forgive me. Let me forgive myself. Or if somebody else has hurt me, let me have the power to forgive them, because I don't want to carry that around. I don't want that negativity and holding on to that, because all it does is destroy you from the inside out. So it has no place. If it has no place in your heart and it's doing no good for your mind, you got to let it go. You got to learn forgiveness. You got to let it go. That's the only way that you can heal from it, is letting it go. Otherwise, you hold on, you harvest, you give it power, you let it grow, and then it's fertilizing other little things inside of you to where you've created this whole embodied internal storm within you, because you couldn't just forgive and let it go. And it is so powerful. It's a very powerful tool to learn, is forgiveness. Having a mix of ideas is healthy. Totally. I thought of how the F does she know that? That's awesome. Right? Well, I'm sure something that you said is like, I don't know, something you said or whatever the conversation, or maybe you just look like someone who is up in the know on the news. But that's why people, I feel like, okay, people that aren't religious, right? They don't have religion in their life at all. I feel like, is it so bad? Like, they're like, I don't believe in anything, whatever, Christianity, blah, blah, and hating on people that do have religion in their life. But I'm like, is it so bad that there are people who believe in being a good person, who believe in forgiveness above all else, leading with love? Like, is that such a bad thing? I feel like it would be something I would want to welcome, even if I was not a Christian. I would be like, more power to people who believe that, because it puts more, I feel like, better people with a better mindset. If you have something bigger to fear in like your afterlife, if you have something bigger to fear, it puts you in a better mindset on how you lead your life, or at least want to try and lead your life. I agree how I do that. But yeah, I guess the woman hears my TV. Oh, oh, this is your neighbor. Oh, God. Gotcha. Now I'm with it. I can't see it as soon as it goes behind that. I have to figure out how to open it up separately. You know, I'm a work in progress when it comes to the whole technology of things. Maybe you can help me figure that part out. But yeah, it's true. I just can't even imagine being in a world where we all think the same, speak the same, no one detests the other thing, like everybody agrees all the time with I don't know. I just feel like that would be so, I don't know. I like the differences in people. Like, I don't like some of the things, obviously, the criminal, horrible, like dark world of things that there are in the world, but I do feel like I like that there are difference of opinions and everybody's unique in their own special way. I don't feel the same as some people do when it comes to that. But what I do feel like is going down. What's up, John? What's up, my dude? Hey, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. I was hoping to see you on here. If that was you, I just wanted to say thank you. I really, really appreciate you supporting the stream and loving the content. Thank you so, so much. I'm going to lower this back down. I have, you caught, kind of the tail end. I'm on here till 3, so we still have 30 minutes. We kind of went down the dark train of human trafficking and then talking about existing in the world with difference of opinions and political parties. So I'm just trying to spread the cheer and the love. When I was a kid, Halloween was spooky. These days it's evil. No joke. Oh my gosh. So speaking of, my son went with his friends to a, they put up like a pop-up through the woods because there's so many, I live in North Carolina, so there's a lot of woodsy places. But I was thinking about that because they were going to a Halloween trail, like a scary trail. And I was like, gosh, it's the first time I felt really like fear of I don't ever want to obviously instill that in my kids to be scared to do things. But remember, we talked about that already, being aware. Just turn on link once. Yes, I think that was it. Said John, but it didn't say a last name, and it didn't give me a way to connect. So if it was you, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I have not been on here. Tuesday was thank you, Hal. Yes, a spooky trail. Tuesday was my first day back because I went on that vacation since I was working outside in the summer. Went on the vacation, gone for 2 weeks, came back out of the country. Wasn't feeling well, then I didn't get back on until Tuesday of this. So I've only been on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today. So I'm back on the train Monday through Friday, 1 to 3. I'll be on here and we will be doing something. We'll be chatting and working out, talking together. I am finally getting the podcast up, and it's called The Blueprint, and it's going to be on my YouTube, which is Cara Christensen TV. And then I'll be able to just sit and chat with you guys. I'm trying to figure out a schedule to do that, and it won't involve, working out all the time with you guys. I can just sit and chat like an actual real podcast. I saw you cooking. Okay, so that's gonna go on my cooking channel specifically just for the cooking things. I come from a theater background, so I am making costumes and directing plays. So I have like probably 50 wigs. I like to put my wigs on and get in character and always dress up. So it's gonna be more of an entertaining cooking show, even though I love to cook. And I'm trying to take old classic recipes and turn them keto friendly. So it's going to be interesting, but it's definitely a little different outside the mindset of this. my friends mentioned going to Winchester Mystery House for Halloween. I said, no, I'd be punching anyone who jumped out at me, right? They have those on, like the shorts. I don't know if you've seen like Instagram or Facebook or YouTube maybe, when they're shorts and they have that, like they're trying to scare their friends and they'll pop out and then they end up getting knocked out because their friends like, that's like an instinct, just like gonna get ya. But the so anyway, so when my son, who's 13, he's about to be 14, October 28th. So he's a Halloween baby, so he loves this stuff. But then when he was going, I was like, oh, it was the first time I felt in my, in my core, like, dude, there's so many crazy people in the world these days. Like, how do I know that? Because you're used to hearing people screaming. So, and like falling down on the ground and like all the things. So how do they know if you're not part of the acting when there's like strobe lights flashing, it's super dark, everyone's got masks and all made up. Like, how do you know you're not, someone next to you is not actually getting shanked and like laying on the ground dying right in front of you? And that's the thrill of it for some people, like in their mind. There's a lot of unstable mental people in the world these days. I feel like maybe they were always there and they just feel more free to be who they be in this day and age. But it's the first time talking about spooky houses and going through those. Like, it's the first time I felt like, in my son's Halloween child. So October 28th, we've always had like all the Halloween craze about it, but this year it's made me feel some type of way. Like, that's awesome. You had an interest on theater now here on YouTube with your very own channel. Aww. Thanks. You're so sweet. That is so nice of you. Thank you. I know I do feel blessed that there are these opportunities to be able to do it and share your gift or your very quirky personality like mine with the world in some way. So, sometimes you're not everybody's cup of tea, right? One of my girlfriends got me a shirt that said, "You may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you sure are their shot of tequila." I was like, yeah. I thought that was awesome. I feel the evil ones come out from under their rocks on those occasions. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I just felt some type of way when he was like, I want to go to the spooky house. And I was like, well, wait a second. I didn't want to like freak him out and sound like that person because I'm already like saying like being like that. But sorry, my computer went to sleep. Make him feel like I'm always like, be aware of your surroundings or look, because I am. Told you, he's already got an issue with that. But at the same time, I was like, all right, dude, you know what I'm gonna say. Just be careful, like be aware of what's going on around you. Right? Isn't that such a great quote, John? You may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you sure are their shot of tequila. But yeah, so anyway, when he went, he had a great time, but I definitely feel like, I don't know, the whole time I was like, oh Lord, please, just don't let there be any like those freaks around. Sorry to use that word, I don't even like to use that word, but don't let there be anybody out that's trying to cause havoc tonight. Just protect all the spooky trails and let them be safe and fun for these kids to go through with no danger or death at the end. That's kind of where I'm at, which I never thought in a million years that would be a prayer that I would even have to think on praying on because of how crazy our world would be getting, right? So, man, we've had some. John, you got to go back. When I post this, I'm going to repost it again at 6:30. You've got to go back and watch. Actually, I might do it at 6 o'clock today since it's Friday. I know people make plans. But we've had some really great conversations on here about life, as we usually do. But it's, it's a really crazy world that we live in, and we have to be a little more vigilant in protecting the little ones around us and keeping them in the know without scaring them. It's like a fine line you always have to toe, right? Being like, open their eyes, but not being too scary. Protecting them, but not being overprotective. There's like so many tight ropes I feel like you got to walk as a parent these days. And you do your best, right? I mean, you do your best. That's all you can do is try and do your best. Not every parent is perfect. And I think the only real way to know that is being a parent yourself. You can understand because you were also once a child and you can remember about being a child, but everything changes when you become a parent yourself. And that is your spawn and that is your blood. And you feel this like undying need to protect it in a whole different way because it's almost like a piece of you, an organ or an extremity of you that is separated from your body. So that also has a mind of its own and can walk and do things on its own. It's really quite an interesting scenario if you've never been a parent. It's definitely hard to put in words. That was my best take. That was my best take on how to look at it. Like, it's like if you're, vital part of your body, like your heart, for instance, can leave your body. And then that heart has a mind and brain and life of its own. But if something happens to that heart, it's happening to you too. So you really need to protect that thing, but not protect it so much that you smother it and end up, So I don't know if that description made sense, but you said you were in North Carolina. Glad you're okay. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. You need to have a kid. Hey, kids are so much fun. I can't even imagine my life without kids. I mean, I never imagined my life with 10 kids like I take care of now, but it's still fun nonetheless, and I love being that safe haven for them. You're 35. Hey, the good thing about that, John, as a man, you can go on and on and on and on. Look at who's the actor, famous actor. He's like in his 70s and he just welcomed his other child. He has so many children at this point, but as a man, you have the option. It's not like your internal clock is ticking. I'm sure at some point, maybe, but yeah, it's definitely so much fun. And I will keep you in my prayers, John, that if that is something that you want, that the right person will come along. You guys will have beautiful babies and you'll have so much love and light and maybe a little John in your future. But I love being a parent, but it really is. It's a different world to raise kids in for sure. But it's you try your best and you just hope it doesn't come back to bite you in the butt in the future, and then your children don't end up, hating you or resenting you from something you did because of some way they were told to feel about it. This day and age, therapists can be terrible, terrible for families these days. So you always have to watch out on that thing too. Off topic. Sometimes trying kind of bread and kind of peanut butter and kind of jam jelly with sour cream? What are you on with right now, Bo? What? I mean, I'll try it. I'll do a little short on it, okay? I don't know why I did that. I don't know what that means. I'm like throwing a gang sign. I will do a little short on it on the socials of bread. So a PB&J with sour cream, is that what you're saying, John? I'm sorry, Bo. John, I'm falling for someone. I think I just met her and I want to date her. Wants to get married first. Oh no, it went behind the thing. Can you repost that, John? I'm falling for someone. Post that whole little, repost that thing. Just like copy and paste it above. It goes underneath there and then I can't read it anymore. Kid lives here too. Didn't want to be a drunk back in the day and have to be responsible for a kid too. Bo, you're not that old, my dude. So you never know. I mean, you would have to date a little bit younger of an age, but hey, my girlfriend, she's 45 and she's due on November 1st. Yeah. Her and her husband had such a time to even conceive. They were this is such a beautiful story, guys. Such a time. I love that though, how peanut butter, banana, and mayo. See, I also thought that was gross, but then I tried it. But anyway, so my girlfriend and her husband tried for 10 years. They were going to do IVF, right? She was going in the day before she was going to get her blood work because she was having the IVF treatment the next day. And they found out she was pregnant naturally. And she had already had so many miscarriages. And she was like, this can't be. This isn't true. This isn't true. And it was true. So she had her first daughter. And now her daughter is 4 or 5. I should know that. I'm sorry, girlfriend. But she is now found out. She thought she was going through early menopause at 45. And now she found out that she's pregnant. She was like, no way. There's no way. I can't. That's not. I don't have natural pregnancies like easily. And she is, and she's due. She's carried a full term 45. So, Bo, you still got a chance. Turn me onto that. PJs. 64. Hey, look here now. Age but a number, right? For you fellas. You find another girl who's, you guys click and you're into it. You never know. You're sober now. So, I think that you have a good heart and you would be a great dad. Even if you adopted, there's a lot of kids who need a good parent in their lives. You could be a part of making their world a better place and giving them an opportunity to grow and thrive and be successful in this world. I don't know, Christine. I know, I've seen you. Definitely don't. People always tell me that. Yeah, right? Good genetics. But also, when you work out, even if it's just a little something like this. That's why I'm always like, walking for wellness. You can just start walking, and that helps all your inflammation and all the stuff it does for your organs and things, joints, all that. But also, it stimulates collagen, and it gets it resets your cells. So now you're getting a cell rejuvenation. So it helps taking away the wrinkles, keeping your skin fresh. You're not putting the alcoholic toxins in your body anymore. So now you're just getting revived, so it keeps you looking younger, right? One of the kids that are always at my house, he was like, how old are you? You're in like your 20s? I was like, no, I'm 52. He's like, what? You're what? And I was like, no, I'm not 52 yet. But he was like, what? I cannot believe it. So I think she has no kids either, but she wants one soon because she's turning 33. So how do you feel about that, John? Like, is that something you're ready to, are you ready to go from, the dating to married to baby process, quickly? Because I don't know if you guys know about the show. It's called, oh my gosh, babe, what is it called? Blind? No, wait, hold on. Love is Blind, okay? So Love is Blind is a show on Netflix. It's on Netflix. But that show is it's interesting because you have to get engaged in the pods, and the pod is they're in these rooms they go in these rooms to talk to each other. They can't see each other is the whole concept. You're just falling in love with the person's personality and the way that you guys get along without putting the physical into the mix of it. So it's really interesting to see if we didn't put a physical aspect to it, because a lot of times someone's type is not their type at all. What someone's type is in their mental. That's why I feel like so many people do have such failed relationship situations, because they are meeting by the physical first, and they're really trying to make it work for the physical part, but nothing else is working. So in the Love is Blind, it's you're learning who it is that you connect with and jive with, and who you can have a free conversation with without it feeling forced. And you have so many of the same ideals, and you feel more comfortable. Mostly the guys are in there talking about how, and of course you have to be entering this is what sparked it, John, is you have to be in that show ready. And most of them are in their like mid 20s to late 30s. You have to be ready to want that whole thing in your life, right? Like some of these women are in their 30s and they're like, how do you feel about kids? Like, I'm ready to have kids. When you get married, are we ready to have kids first? Like, you don't leave the pod without being engaged. So if you're in that scenario and you've made a connection, you have to propose to them, and then they move you into an apartment together to see if you work out and you still make the connection. Obviously, you're gonna have to see them, and is what you built internally with your mental connection stronger than the physical. Sometimes they luck out and they're really good looking couple together, but sometimes they're not. What's up, Devsky? Oh, thanks. I always love your energy. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. Hi. Sounds like an old school internet chat room. I know, right, John? So that's how I felt like. That's how I felt it was kind of portrayed. Like, what are the dating sites back in the day? Well, I'm sure there's so many now, but what was the original dating? Like, people were meeting each other on an app. What was that app called? Like back in the day, like the original. That's how I feel like it is. Hey, Devsky, we're talking about relationships right now. It was I'm trying to think. Help me out, you guys. What is the dating app that was like one of the original apps back in the day? And people were like, that's so weird. You're meeting someone, you've never even seen them. But sometimes I feel like that's more helpful because it takes away like all the nervousness, right? You can kind of be free to who you want to be. I just hear you talking. Yes. Back at you, Devsky. Yes, you did. eHarmony. Yeah. That one, there was another one too. It was like a Christian one too, which I thought was great because at least you know you're on that same page together, which is huge. Single as a Pringle. Well, that's what these other gentlemen in the chat are talking about. But so in this scenario in Love is Blind, right? They were talking. It was mostly the men, and I thought this was interesting. But mostly the men because the girls go back into their like little. I'm gonna turn this down some so I can tell my story without losing my air. But the girls go back and they stay in their quarters, and the guys go and stay in their quarters, and they don't ever see each other. The girls and the guys, they do talk in the pods together, which they can't see. But what was interesting was the guys would always sit around talking about, it's so weird that I'm in there crying because I'm talking about something I've never told anybody else. And I feel so comfortable to just freely talk because literally it's like you're in a room like by yourself, just talking out loud to someone else on the other side, and that person is receiving that information so well, and you don't get startled by the eyes glaring back at you and getting inside of yourself, where you're just like self-doubting the things that are coming out of your mouth and judging the scenario in real time. So it really is interesting. You should see it if you haven't seen it before. But how many women are ready and how many men were ready in these scenarios and this new Love is Blind? How many are ready to just say, hey, I'm ready to skip past the girlfriend part. Let's get engaged. I mean, I don't think you should skip past the girlfriend part, but you saying like she's getting older and she's ready to Christian mingle. That's it. Thank you. Thanks, John, coming in clutch. That's it. Yeah, Christian mingle. But sorry, I'm sweating so bad. My hair is like a wool blanket. My hair tie broke because my hair is too thick. But not complaining, Lord. Thank you for this hair. But yeah, it's very interesting because it's like this day and age, I guess the dating scene is so bad for people that, when they do find someone, they're like ready and they're okay, let's do this. We'll date for 6 months or whatever, make sure it works. But I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to have kids, especially for women. Like a lot of women that have chosen the path of career first, they're the ones who are like, I spent all this time building this business and now I'm older and now I'm like, oh no, my clock is ticking. I really need to find someone and get married right away. Like, that's what I feel like is happening this day and age, is that it's not like when my mom was growing up, they were like bred to get married and have babies, you know? So back, what is it? Almost got married twice. Still glad I didn't. I'll find the right woman someday. Exactly. You probably dodged some very big bullets from your internal gut instinct saying, this isn't right. Just be patient. Patience is a really hard thing for a lot of people to do, especially in this day and age where it's like everything is like 5-7 seconds. Like when I go and look back at, it shows you all of your videos and like how long the most time frame that the most people watch your stuff, you know, going through shorts or reels or whatever, all the things. It's usually like anywhere from 5 to 20 seconds. It's just like such a fast-paced 5 to 20 second world, you know, and you flip and flip and flip, and then you may come back to that. You flip through and might find, you know, nothing else is interesting, and you come back to something else. But I feel like in such a world where women have been more apt to work towards, look at that, it's so gross. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why I wore long sleeves. I was so cold in here, but I should have thought how bad I was going to be getting it. Oh, wow. That's just me. That's the beauty of my glisten. But feeling like, you know, women are trying to make their way in the world and they want to have some security for themselves and not worry about, you know, a man taking care of them, which is something that back in the generation of my mom and her mother, that's what they were born and bred to do. This is how you have poise. This is how you have grace. And this is how you cook in the kitchen and how you do, you know, womanly things with your children and having babies and being there for the man. The man is the main focus of your world. And nowadays women are trying to make themselves the main focus. And then they put all of their time into their career and building that. But unfortunately for women, their time clock only goes to a certain extent. You know, 47, I think, is the latest I've ever heard. Actually, no, I did do research this on the other day. The oldest woman known in our time to have a child, to bear children, was 60 something. It was like 65 or 67. I have to look it up again. Don't quote me on that, but look it up. Oldest woman to bear natural children. And she was like from Germany or Russia or something like that. She has like 20 something kids and she bared children naturally in her like 60s. Sweating means you're putting the work in. Thank you, right? Putting the work in. Next time I won't be wearing this. It's kind of like when I wear light colors to the gym, and I learned very quickly why I shouldn't do that. Because, you know, I'm sweaty. Like, I can just walk outside in the summer and just start sweating, especially because I have like a wool fur coat on my head. So I get so sweaty so quick. So, and sweat forms in all the areas that you don't want it to. So I'm normally wearing dark colors, but today I went a little lighter, and now I'm reminded why I don't do that. So lesson learned. I have so many guys, mainly in sobriety, who have to have a woman. I feel it's their security blanket. True. A lot of people, I feel like there's women like that too, that they just feel like they have to be with a man because they don't want to be alone or by themselves. And no one should be alone. I think that that's really hard. And we're not, God didn't make us, whether you believe in him or not, in my opinion, God didn't make us to be alone. That's why he created Adam, right? And he was like, wait a second, it's not natural to want to be alone or to be alone. I'm going to take this rib from Adam and I'm creating an extension of him in her. So that is the whole thing of us being connected as men and women, is God creating woman for man so that we could have companionship and we could exist together as in unity. So it's supposed to be that desire to be drawn to the other sex, to want to be together in union, because literally men have one less rib than women do. And that's the whole point behind it is God took one of Adam's ribs to create the female human species so we can coexist together and reside in one another. So that's my little extra gospel for the day. I'd rather be alone than in an unhappy relationship 100%. A million, zillion percent. It's so true. Like, who wants to be eating some water? And I think that way too about parents who are in a relationship. They're just in a relationship to stick it out, right, for the kids. But then I feel like if you're just sticking it out for the kids and you're not taking the time and making the efforts, I'm trying to go down. It's like 50 degrees here, you guys. I can't believe how bad I'm sweating. Well, yes, I can because I'm sweating. But sticking out for the kids and not putting the work in, right? Now I feel like because your relationship together is so toxic, in my own opinion, I feel like that teaches the kids that that's what love is. And I don't think that's what love is. I think loving is loving, right? You love someone. But if you truly love someone, you have to work at it. It's not something that people are like so quick to be like, oh, I'm done with this, I'm out. If you're married, right? And divorce. But love takes work. Love takes time. If you were in it and there's something bad going on, like abuse or obviously something that's, it can't be fixed. That's one thing. But if it's just like you've distanced and now he's spending more time on his phone and you're spending more time with your friends or whatever, that is the stuff you have to put pause on if your marriage is suffering. You have to put pause on everything else and know that it starts with the two of you first, and then it'll trickle down to your children because you're teaching them what is love. They're viewing it. How do you guys talk to each other? How do you work out your differences? All of it is like a paneling of what is love, How do you navigate with each other? Kids are always watching, even when you think that they're not paying attention, they are. So, I remember me as a kid, like I would always be sneaking around trying to hear, like, what is it they're talking about? Because it's hard when you're a kid and you're in the dark. Like my husband and I will talk about it. Like I'll bring the kids and we'll be like, look, I know you might have heard something, but we want you to know this has nothing to do with you two. Mommies and daddies disagree sometimes. And we work it out. And that's what you do as a healthy relationship. It has nothing to do with you. Reassuring the kids it has nothing to do with them. And, that we're going to get through it. And all is going to be well. Instill that sense of safety and security again. Because I feel like those are the things, in my own humble opinion, those are the things that instill these other strain of emotions when you're young and you don't know how to deal with all the things and all the situations that you are thrown in your orbit. Then you start to manifest all of these other things inside of you because no one takes the time to explain those things to you. So I really made it a point from my childhood, the things that I took, and I want to correct that into my own household with my kids. And that's the beauty about getting to be a parent, John, is whatever you had and whatever you learned in your past from your childhood or even in your adult life, whatever you learned in those scenarios, you get the choice now that you're not in that and you've grown from that and you learned from that. You get the choice of how you want to navigate in raising somebody else and giving them a better life or a better future or a better know-how or a path because of what you've learned. So it's like gathering all of that knowledge and then putting in the best of you now. Because some people in your 20s, when you're having children, you're still trying to learn life yourself. So I think 30s is a good age and a good time where you start to actually feel like you're a little grown. I know it sounds crazy because you think 30 is like a higher age, but I really do feel like that's a time where I feel people are more apt to make wiser and better decisions because you have enough under the umbrella and you're not just trying to figure it out while raising kids. So, you do the best that you can. Your guitars are your kids. Oh yeah, how many guitars do you have? My son just started playing. He has his pop sent him an electric guitar. He had a bass guitar, which was his older brother's, and his older brother never played that. So then he got on that, and then he quickly moved into the electric guitar. And so once he got the electric guitar, then he was like, this is hard because you have to take your amp and everything with you when you're trying to go just sit around and play it. So then he went and got an acoustic guitar, and he saves his money. He like sells things that he has that he keeps good, like his like nice tennis shoes or whatever. He'll make his own money or by doing chores or mowing the lawn, stuff like that, and he saves it and buys his own things. So I think it is important also to teach your children how to manage money. There you go, Cal. Oh my gosh, you have a lot of guitars. Holy cow, you are a music man. That's how you know. And that's what my son is falling into is, holy cow. There's a lot, like when we go to the Guitar Center or like the music world, like they have everything, all the instruments. He's like a kid in a candy shop. So I can imagine, Bo, he's going to be a lot like you in that aspect. It's like collecting instruments and trying to find places to put them. Like right now, I'm like, okay, where are you going to hang all of these guitars and the things that you have? It's turning in like a whole studio in his room, which is really awesome because he's playing music that we grew up loving, like AC/DC, Smashing Pumpkins, Green Day, and kind of like skater stuff, but also, oh my gosh, with Guns N' Roses, like, yeah. So that's when he 10 guitars and a mandolin. What's a mandolin? I don't know what that is. What kind of guitars are they? Like all types, guitar, like electric and acoustic and bass. Is that a thing for like all musicians that love to play string guitars like that? You got to have the whole gamut, like the bass, the acoustic, and the electric. We were in Guitar Center, and which is interesting because it says Guitar Center, but it's literally every instrument, pianos, drums, everything. And they had this cool Fender amp. Like the amp was like, I don't know what a mandolin is, but you're going to tell me I know it. But the amp it's a Fender amp, and it had like these built-in digital sounds. So you plug your electric guitar in, right, and you can play the chords, but it changes the sound through the amp. And it had like 35 preset sounds. And then it went up to 75. The rest you could fill in on your own. I guess you can download to the amp. Have you seen those amps, Bo? The Fender amp. So you download whatever sounds you want and you can save it. Or you can save a track. Like let's say you recorded an acoustic track and or your bass track and you want to play it with your electric guitar, or you want to add the drums in. You can upload it to the Fender amp. So you can play it, you can put it on there, play it while you're playing whatever choice of the preset sound for your guitar. So you can it's almost like its own encompassing, what is it? Like a recording studio, but it's all in the amp. So cool. And there was this other guy jamming out to Black Hole Sun. Who sings that song? Black Hole Sun, won't you come? A bass had one, gave it away. Oh, really? What's up? Let's go. Welcome. Hey, hey. We're talking about music and the amps that have like a full recording studio in it. And there was this guy, he was jamming out the Black Hole Sun. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember the name of the artist, but the amp was like this big. It was a little tiny amp, and I could not believe the sound came out of that with his electric guitar. And it was another one that you could upload into it, all the different sounds that you want your guitar to sound like. You can record it on there, and you can add other layers of music into it so it can play it while you're playing your guitar. I was like, what is the future going to hold? You're going to be able to have like, I don't know, some type of projection of a speaker off of your like watch or something, and it's just gonna be, what is the future of technology? It blows my mind, like blows my mind. Because we were walking up, and he was getting new strings on his acoustic that he just got, and we were walking up, and I heard him like wailing on the electric guitar. I was like, where's that sound coming from? And he was down by his foot. It was little tiny, it looked like a little rock down there. I was like, that is what he had it facing towards. There was like a cubby thing, the desk that the computer was sitting on. He had it facing in towards the desk, so the sound was like radiating into the cubby. But it's still, he was like, this is so great for like bringing it to, campus for college kids, or sitting like, you're throwing a party and you don't want to lug a big amp around. It was also, it wasn't a Fender. This one, the other Fender one is small and it had amazing sound, but this was a different one. Mandolin is usually a country instrument. Send me a video of you playing. Oh, cool. I'm thinking of like a banjo. Is there any relation to like a banjo? That's, being up here in North Carolina, bluegrass is huge. It's like the marry of country and jazz kind of sound, bluesy kind of sound. So I like it. It was perfect, like little campfire while down by the river type of a flow. So minute demarcation. I was trying to read best viewers on. I can't see the rest. It went behind there. But thank you. Welcome to the stream. You're a new name. I don't know you, so thank you so much for coming in. I am about to get off, though, you guys. It's 3:03, so let's just see what we're at. We were rocking at like a 3.5 for a while. So let's see. Time frame. Okay, got that. Let's see what the distance is. Let's go. 6.5 miles. Talking and walking with you guys. So I'm going to put it on up. I'm going to restream it later so we can see, so you guys can get on if you want to, and then you'll know. You can get the whole conversations from the jump, because this is a lot packed in today. I have to say, it was a lot packed in today. It was fun, though. I love having these conversations. Okay, so calorie burn is 700. 700 calories. 700 calories. But that was me walking at a steady pace for, we got in at 1:03. So for 2 hours, I've been walking. So 700 calories, 7 miles. Oh, interesting how. So like a calorie a mile. No. Wait, what? That made no sense. Scratch that. Delete. Reverse. I did not just say that. I did not think those words through before they came out of my mouth. Mandolin is a bluegrass instrument. Use it for rock. Very cool. See, that's how I feel like my son is rolling into, is he's learning that he's good at it, first of all. He's really enjoying it because it's instant gratification music, right? Because once you get down the technique, then you're hearing this music that you're creating, and it's like he's already coming up with his own like bass lines, and on the electric guitar, his own melodies. So it's really cool to watch him shine in his own element like that. But I already see when we go into the music center, and it's just so filled with all the instruments. He's like, oh, I want to play this. I think it's like anything under $2,000, they'll let you play off the wall. So when you go into, I think it's called Guitar Center, but anything under $2,000, because I was like, oh, I love that one. Of course, I'm going to pick the most expensive one hanging on the wall. But it was gold. It was gold, had all gold accents, and it was hot pink and black. Oh, my gosh. I was like, I wish I knew how to play this. But they're like, oh, no, that one's $4,800. We don't take those off the wall. It's $2,000 and under, I guess, is what they could cover in their insurance, possibly. But $2,000 and under is what you can take off the wall. So he's like, what? You can take these off the wall and play them? So then I was like, oh no, we're never going to leave here. So we were there for like 3 hours. But I took my little ones into the drumming room, and it's a soundproof room that the door shuts, and just let them have fun wailing on that. So, it's a fun journey. I love music. I mean, who doesn't? I don't think I've ever met anyone that says I don't like music. So I told him as a teenage boy, this skill is really going to get you into having a lot of fun experiences through your life, because people are drawn to music. So he asked his teacher, since he got the acoustic guitar, he asked his teacher, he's in middle school now, if he could bring his acoustic in for homeroom in the morning and play. I was like, wow, Hal, that's really cool, because you literally just started learning like a month ago. But he's so good. He can go onto YouTube and literally listen to a song. He's got such good ear sound for it. What is it? Playing by ear? Just tagged you. Oh, thank you. I'll go and look at it. But he's got such a good ear for it, and he picks it up so quickly, just like his Aunt Ashley. She's so good at any instrument she picks up. She's just got such a beautiful gift, you guys. But he's like had enough courage and like, as a boy, as a teenage boy, especially something new you're doing, you're not always so confident that you want to take it into school and like display it for everybody. So he asked, and I was like, really, you're going to do that? So he took his guitar into school, and I was like, oh, how many more friends do you how many more people did start knowing your name now? And he just started laughing and smiling. He's very humble and not like that, He's my son. Come on. He's going to be humble. But I know when his dimples start popping that's a good sign. When his smile is so uncontrollable that the dimples are in full shine, I know he had a good time with it. But music is such a beautiful gift to learn how to do. So I know he's going to be going down that path too. I'm going to I'll do a video. I'll see if I can find a mandolin when we go in later to the guitar center and see if I find a mandolin. I'll see what his skill is on that. But you guys, I'm going to get off now. 2 hours was a really good run on this. Oh, look, I just said it came through, Bo. So I will definitely check that out. I'm going to stretch a little bit right now. But thank you guys so much. This was such a fun chat. A reminder to myself not to wear light colors when I am doing these intense walk-in workouts. But I thank you guys for all of you that have supported the people in Asheville. That's what that fund is for, getting them blow-up beds, bedding, pillows, formula, and diapers. Those are the focus of this fund for FAMs right here. And that one down there, that one is mine, supporting my stream for all these little mouths to feed around me. But I really appreciate you guys just showing up and being supportive and being there to support me through this journey. And I do hope that you guys get something from it. We always have good talks on here, very entertaining, and I love to hear back from you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And I really hope that this weather is going to be subsided and you guys get to have a wonderful and enjoy a wonderful weekend. I think everybody in the world kind of needs a little bit of that. So, little note, just turn off all the stuff that usually is just feeding your mind with all of the things. You're going to find out one way or the other, but take a day of mental rest and just enjoy the surroundings around you, the outside, getting a good fresh air in, going on a nice stroll, maybe walking to a coffee shop or doing something new that you wouldn't normally do. Just living the life that we have while we have it and taking your mind off of all the distress, because anytime you turn it on, it's going to be there waiting. So just try and take a little break, Bo, from all that news talk and news chat, my friend, and just enjoy the moment and live in this wonderful world God gave us and breathe it all in. It's so beautiful out here in North Carolina right now. I hope it's beautiful where you are. And prayers to those in Asheville. I'm trying to help you guys with raising money and awareness. What you're going through is devastating, and I am so sorry, and my prayers will always be with you and the families that have been hit by any of the hurricanes or tornadoes. I'm continuing to keep you in my prayers every day. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe, It's free, or follow. It's free on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Cara Christensen TV. And make sure you look out for the podcast coming out on YouTube called The Blueprint. All right, until next time. See you later, guys. Bye.